Hello, Strength of Southwest fans. This is Jack, the producer. I just wanted to say sorry for the late upload. I had some troubles with my computer and some of the files got moved around. Things were acting really wonky, so the episode ended up being late. I'm sorry about that. So I also wanted to say that Strength of Southwest will be taking a 2-week Christmas break. For those who don't know, we record these during our lunch break at school. And since we're not going to be at school for 2 weeks, we won't be able to record the podcast for 2 weeks. So we're going to have to just go on break for a little bit. But once those 2 weeks are up, we'll be up and running again with another episode on the next portion of the wheel. So look out for that. So have a happy holidays and enjoy the episode. Disclaimer: this podcast sometimes covers topics that may be offensive to some people, such as suicide, mental health, drug and alcohol use, and more. You have been warned.
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to your Strength of Southwest podcast. I'm your co-host, Molly Heydrich.
And I'm your other co-host, Blake Alley.
Today, we are going to deviate a little bit from what we normally talk about, which is our wheel, and we're just going to talk about something else today, which is
finals!
Everyone's
Yay.
favorite thing. So, if y'all are like me, finals are
stressful,
hard, and stressful, and difficult, and sad. I feel like when I get because this week's dead week, so this will come out Monday of finals week, which I think next week we have Monday and Tuesday just regular class.
Yes, we do.
And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is just finals. But for me, this week, dead week and then finals week, it's I'm always so exhausted. Yeah. It's just finals and preparing for them and studying and taking all of my tests just takes so much out of me. But I know Blake was talking earlier, and he said that he's kind of the opposite, so it's nice to just have two conflicting opinions.
Yeah, so where I'm at for finals is some can be stressful, yes, but there's a lot of tools you can use to make them not stressful. For sure. It's important to know which ones that are actually going to be important and which ones aren't, right? Because if you have an 87 in a class, you're not going to be able to get it to an A, no matter how hard you try. But also, you're probably not going to drop to a C as long as you at least know the material a little bit. So it's important to manage those classes that you know are going to be important versus those ones that aren't going to be as important, and to study effectively.
And that just kind of goes into the category of time management, and just maybe for me, I know that I am so much better at English than I am at math. So for me, I need to study a little harder in math than I do in English, math is going to take up probably the majority of my time next week. And this weekend it has been all semester. But that for me is just kind of how I think things through. It's just what subjects am I good at? What subjects do I need to be better in? What subjects do I have to get a good grade on? What subjects can I maybe relax a little bit and just kind of let there be a little wiggle room?
And then come the negative problems that some of us might have, like procrastination.
Oh, that's me. That is me. Do you procrastinate?
I am a horrible procrastinator.
Oh my! I'm so bad. So bad. It's just not good.
It can be a problem when it comes to studying and things like that. Or just getting your work in, because I don't know what it is. I wonder what does cause procrastination. I think it's probably just bad habits and things like that. But it's important, if you know you are a procrastinator, to kind of help that along, to focus on what's important, and maybe just try and shake off those bad habits.
For me, because I am a very bad procrastinator, I'm not afraid to admit it. I know I need help. It's okay. for me, what I do is I remove, like, a lot of my distractions. I know that just, like, obviously social media and, like, your friends and just, like, social settings can kind of, like, take away from, like, what you actually need to get done. So for me, I turn on some music and I say, okay, I'm going to do my math first. Then I'm going to go take 30-minute break, just kind of brain break, watch some TV, relax, hang out with friends, do whatever. And then I'm going to come back and do my reading. And I just kind of go subject by subject. That way it's not just like, oh my God, I have 3 hours of homework.
Yeah.
It's, oh my gosh, I can get this done if I focus hard enough and just kind of like delegate and split up what I need to do.
Something I do is I do something a little bit different. I basically dedicate a study day.
Yeah.
Right? Like on Sundays are the day that you do all of your work and you get that all done. You can relax the other days of the break.
Yeah.
Right? But Sunday, that's where you got to go in and you got to get everything done and you got to get to it.
For sure. And I feel like here at Southwest, what's really, I think, helpful for all of us is timber time, which is so helpful because for me, like, if I'm struggling in math, I keep going back to math because math is my worst subject. If I'm struggling in math, you know, like, I can take 30 minutes out of my lunch period and I can go talk to Mrs. Rolston, my math teacher, and she can help me through it, or I can go to the computer lab or the library and get stuff done. And I know that this week and all of next week, the library during timber time is quiet study time.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just, like, I know that obviously the school and, like, the commons and cafeteria can be really loud during timber time. So if you are looking for a quiet study space, definitely go to the library. It's really quiet in there during this time of the year, I guess, week, whatever.
It always is, but it's especially true now.
Yeah.
And also, it's important for finals to, like, you can use aspects of the wheel, for example, your positive friends, to help you study. If you're in the same class, got a test coming up, study with your friends. That is one of the best ways to study and makes it fun.
And I think, like, for me, finals, like, really, really stresses me out just because it's just, for me, it's mostly, like, the word finals. Like, oh, my gosh, and just kind of, like, the stigma around it. Like,
it does
if I do bad on my final, am I going to fail the class? But, like, no. Like, when you really think about it, your final is what? 10, 15% of your grade?
Yeah.
Like, even if you get a 0 on the final, like, literally just a 0, like, you don't get a single question right, you're only going to drop 1 letter grade.
That's true.
And most people get a lot more than 0 questions right.
Yes, it is statistically proven that you would get half.
Yeah. So, like, that's kind of what I just think of it. Like, okay. And I think for me, because finals are always at the end of the semester, end of the year, for me, what I do in the semester leading up to finals is really important. Because I feel like a lot of people kind of slack off through the semester and then they get to their final and it's just like, oh, well, if I get a good grade on my final, then I get an A. Well, that's not really how it works because, again, finals is only 10% of your grade. So let's say if I'm slacking off through the whole semester and I have a C, even if I get 100% on my final,
you may not even get past that C.
I'm only going to have a B or a high C, you know? Like, that is really just the gist of it. And for me, like, ways that I can reduce stress starts in August, and it starts with doing my work and not slacking off through the semester and being prepared for my finals and actually taking them seriously and not putting my entire grade on my final because your final, again, is only part of your grade. It's not your whole entire grade.
And I know a tool, Mama Mac, back in 9th grade, freshman year. Oh, boy.
I mean, last year.
They'll never know. Yeah, but last year she taught us this website, Roger Hub, which you can use to basically, like, put in your current grade in the class, how much the final's worth, and it will tell you how good you need to do on that final to get to the point you want to be.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it's always good to have a goal like that, just to, instead of saying, like, I need an A on my final. well, what does an A on your final really entail?
What does it look like?
Does it mean getting 45 questions out of 50 right? Does it mean getting 100%? You know, like, for some people that differs, and I think, like, I've actually never heard of that, and I'm definitely going to use that to kind of just see.
So awesome. I love it. And speaking to what you were talking about earlier, like, the word itself, final.
Oh, gosh.
It has this scary aura about it, meaning, you know, it's complete. This is the end. This is the absolute. This is
all you can do.
But you should not be, you shouldn't be
scared of it.
You should not be that stressed out about it.
Yeah.
It's easy to get pulled into all this chaos and all this, you know, superstition that, oh, if I fail this, it's gonna ruin me. But that's not true.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I keep saying this because it's so important. Like, it's only a percentage of your grade, right? So, like, my hella final is, I think, 10% of my grade. There's still 90% of other grades that I, like, have. You know, like, let's say, again, if I fail that 10%, then it's just going to take me down one letter grade. And that is why I cannot stress this enough, to do your work throughout the semester, you know? Like, don't just settle for a D during the semester and then hope that when finals week comes along, you're going to magically bump it up to an A, you know? Because you can't always count on that you're going to get 100% on your final. You can't always count on that you're going to get a good grade on your final. I haven't gotten good grades on all my finals either. Last year, I did not do great on my honors biology final.
Yeah.
But I did do good the rest of the semester, and I did finish in the class with an A. So, like, that just shows, like, even if I did not do good on my final, I think I got, like, a C or a D. But I had the grades in the class to back it up and kind of cushion me a bit to make sure I got the grade that I wanted.
And I feel like a lot of people think, like, they have this mindset that if it's not an A, it's a failure.
That's
right?
Johnson County and Blue Valley.
Yeah, that's Johnson County and Blue Valley. They think if you're not the tip top, you're failing. That's not true. You can snap that pack next semester.
Yeah.
No time.
And I think, like, one thing that I was thinking about the other day, like, when you look at the grading system, it says that a C is an average grade.
Exactly.
Right?
C is average.
C is average. Like, if you get a B, you're above average.
Yeah.
You know? So, I honestly, like, I have an 89 in Honors Algebra 2 right now. Is it a B? Yes. Am I freaking proud of myself for even getting an 89? Yes, because I did not think I was going to get that. But that's just, it's an above average grade in the grading system. And most people think, like, well, an A is an average grade.
No.
It's not.
Maybe in Johnson County, but
if you get an A, like, good for you. You are killing it in academics, because an A is a hard grade to get. A B is a hard grade to get. And again, like, C is an average grade on the national grading scale.
Yeah.
And I don't know why there's this stigma here in Blue Valley or in Johnson County or whatever you want to call it of an A being average, because it's not. A C is average, an A and a B are above average. So if you have an 82 in a class right now, congratulations. You're doing great. You are above average.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
I would like to give a shout out to the teachers that actually make their final interesting.
Yes.
That instead of just doing a multiple choice, pick here, dotted sheet, they make it interesting and interactive.
Yes.
I'm going to give a shout out to my third hour teacher, Mr. Watson, ELA.
Mr. Watson.
Yeah, Mr. Watson. He's doing, like, a project final, and it has two aspects, and we get to write out this whole 3C analysis on, like, an aspect of a book we're reading, and then we're going to do a presentation as well. That's so much more interesting than just the old system of just multiple choice that has been here since And that hasn't changed for years.
Yeah.
Years. It was like that when our parents went to school.
And I think, like, also having...
And their parents.
And having, like... I know Miss Davidson in her geometry classes, like, right now they're doing a project for their final, which is really good because I feel like when you're doing, like, a project or something, like, interactive or something with a group, like, it just kind of takes, like, a little bit of the pressure off, you know? Because instead of a final... It's just kind of like, this is just a project, you know?
It's a project. And it still has that weight in your grade book, but it takes that kind of mental weight off your shoulders.
Yeah.
The idea of this scary final
just
test.
The idea of finals, you know? Like, for me, like, last year when I was in geometry, like, that was really nice because obviously I was a freshman. It was my first year of high school. It was my first final. And it was just really scary to have to go into that just being ready to take a long test and do about 100 problems and all that. But she did surprise me and said that, hey, you're going to make a poster and you're going to present it to the class and that's going to be your final, which is really great because that took a lot of the pressure off me. And also, like, that gave me time to study for my other classes that I did have a test in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that was good.
I think that we covered a lot of ways to just kind of think about finals and reduce your stress about finals. So good luck on finals, everybody. As usual, our Instagram is BBSW_strength. Our TikTok is the same thing. Our Twitter is @sourcessw. And our YouTube channel where you can find this podcast is Strength of Southwest. Good luck on finals, everybody. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.